Thank you all for being here. When we last were here at the UN Security Council at the invitation of Brazil, we asked the Security Council to live up to its responsibilities and take a position on the conflict in Gaza. Since then, we have had UN Security Council Resolution 2712 calling for pauses and the release of hostages and the entrance of aid. Unfortunately, that Security Council resolution has not been fully implemented, and for that reason, we are here again to call on the Security Council to live up to its responsibilities. We have a small glimmer of hope with the pause that is now in place, thanks to the efforts of Qatar, Egypt, and the United States, which has resulted in much-needed aid entering Gaza, has resulted in the release of some of the hostages, but the aid that is entering is by far less than is needed. 200 trucks compared to the need of 800 trucks. And the danger is that if this ceasefire, if this truce expire, that we will return to the killing at the scale that we have seen, which is unbearable. Many, many thousands, 16,000 civilians dead so far, most of them women and children. So we are here to make a clear statement that a truce is not enough. What is needed is a ceasefire. What is needed is a credible peace, and a peace that lasts and that allows the Palestinians and the Israelis to live side by side in two states. Anything else will result in continuing crisis in the region. Thank you.
Excuse me, Your Excellency.
Well, I will start here.
معالي الوزير فيصل، بصفتكم رئيس اللجنة الوزارية مكونة من 8 دول المنبثقة عن قمتي العربية والإسلامية في الرياض في 11 من هذا الشهر، سمعنا وزير الخارجية الفلسطيني رياض المالكي يتحدث عن شكره لمصر وقطر على التفاوض على الهدن، ولكنه أكد أن الهدن لابد أن تتحول إلى وقف دائم لإطلاق النار. ما هي الخطط؟ هل يمكنك كرئيس لهذه اللجنة أن تعطي الأمل للشعب الفلسطيني وللشعب ولأهلنا في غزة أن لديكم خطة وأن لديكم أملا وطموحا في أن تتحول هذه الهدن القصيرة إلى وقف دائم لإطلاق النار؟
بالتأكيد هذا ما نعمل عليه وما نأمل به، ونرى أن الأصوات المطالبة بوقف لإطلاق النار تتصاعد في المجتمع الدولي، بما فيها رئاسة مجلس الأمن اليوم الصين، ويتكون زخم يوم بعد يوم في هذا الاتجاه، ونسمع في اتصالاتنا الكل يأمل أن يبنى على هذه الهدن إلى هدن أخرى ثم وقف لإطلاق النار. أعتقد أن الرأي العام في المجتمع الدولي بدأ يتحول بقوة، بدأ يستوعب حجم الكارثة وأن العنف ليس حلا وليس جوابا. لذلك أنا لا أقول متفائل، لكن أرى بصيص أمل، وسوف نستمر نعمل لتحقيق هذا الشيء. أنا دولي.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I have a question for Mr. Furhan, if that's possible. According to numbers announced also by the UN, there's a huge destruction and catastrophic loss of life in northern Gaza. And meanwhile, the civilian population is increasing each day on the south of the Strip with forced relocation. And along with the humanitarian crisis, a possible continuation of Israeli strikes is going to lead to more loss of life. So I'd like to know, how urgent do you think it is for the international community to unite in a common response? And what can you do, what can this committee do to enforce that response? Thank you so much, sir.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, this is a very important question. As it was described by my brother, we are, as a group, is working very hard to make sure that the international community lives up to its responsibilities, both legal and moral. I think this is very important because in the absence of moral compass, we would lose our way as humanity. So therefore, as international community, we need to do our best to address this issue at every level, at humanitarian level, at political level, and we need immediate ceasefire. We need immediate humanitarian assistance. At the same time, we need to start immediately to address the root cause of the problem, which is two-state solution. Thank you very much.
Two more questions, the lady and then the gentleman, please.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Susan Tehrani from WION. Are you concerned about the plight of the Palestinian people right now inside Palestine to an extent where the Arab world would perhaps unite and take some of these Palestinians as refugees? There's been some sort of criticism that perhaps the weight hasn't been lifted by the Arab world. Thank you.
The weight has to be lifted, but it is not to be lifted by the Arab world. It is to be lifted by removing that weight, and that is very easy by stopping the killing, by stopping the blockade, by allowing enough humanitarian aid to go in to support the Palestinians. The Palestinians do not want to leave their land, and we are not going to encourage them or force them to leave their land, and we're not going to work with anyone who has that agenda. The Palestinians have a right to their land, and they have a right to live in safety and security and dignity on their land. And that is what we will push for, and that is what we will work towards.
عبد الله الرويس قناة الإخبارية السعودية. هل حققت اللجنة الوزارية مستهدفاتها منذ بداية رحلتها من بكين وصولا اليوم إلى نيويورك؟
بالتأكيد لا. المستهدف هو وقف لإطلاق النار، وهذا لا زال مطلب ولا زال ما نعمل عليه. حققنا تقدم، حققنا تحول أو تحول تدريجي لنقول في وجهة النظر عند بعض الدول التي تعاملنا معها، ونعمل على البناء على ذلك، لكن لا زال أمامنا عمل ولا زال أمامنا مسؤولية نستشعرها تماما، وسوف نستمر في العمل حتى نحقق المراد. Thank you very much. شكرا.